Episode 8 of Geass Roze Recapture, called Ginto, really demonstrates the purpose of this series. And it's not about Norland, the Satumpe wall, Roze and Ash's dynamic. No, it's not about any of those things. This series is about one thing and one thing only: selling the debate between the most commonly asked question, I'd say maybe the most asked question in the entire world: ass or titties? Which is the best thing? Because in this episode, we're gonna see a fight between Haruka and Catherine, and that's what the show's about. Sad as it may seem, but the fan service in this episode, specifically in that fight, demonstrates why they really made this series. It doesn't seem like it's to tell a good story, have interesting characters, which they do have them here and there, but more so, it's just to sell the fan service, and that's super depressing. And we're gonna see that as I react to the episode, which is gonna start right now.
Lord Norland, it is I, Arnold, here to humbly inform you that I have returned.
And what do you want?
Okay, so in case you guys don't know, this is Arnold. He just said his name. Hey, Arnold. Sorry, that joke's not funny. He is the cyborg of the series. He has a Geass Cancellor, which we're going to see later on, and he's basically the Jeremiah of this series. Christophe is some Geass researcher, maybe former member of the OSI, maybe he worked in the Geass Order itself. Who the hell knows? But he gave Arnold this robotic upgrade. That's what's going on here. The fact that Norland doesn't even seem to care is really strange to me, because he asked Christophe to look into this stuff. Like, is your tools ready to work? Or your toys, I think is what he said. Isn't Arnold his toy? So why is Norland acting so dismissive of this? Look, I get this guy has some evil plan to destroy everything, but why are you acting like a dick to your own troops? I don't get it. Alright, let's continue on.
Once I started digging, it all came spilling out.
Pardon the intrusion.
So this entire part is recapping what happened in the last episode, where Christophe explained to Saka how he figured out who she was. And this entire part happens right before we see Arnold and Catherine attacking the Seven Shinning Stars base. So this is like the prequel or the prelude before that happens. That's why you have Christophe explaining all this to Norland, as if Norland doesn't know, but I guess he does. I don't know. Is this scene fine? Sure, I guess.
I can't believe I've been personally summoned by Lord Norland.
Okay, so this is getting out of hand. The fan service in this show is just ridiculous to me. We just see Catherine walking and her boobs are just bouncing up and down. Are you serious right now? I mean, Catherine's existence, I think, takes the show from however good it could have been and significantly lowers it. She's like the anchor of this series, a charisma vacuum that weighs down the series with her boobs. Absolutely no character at all. It seems like this girl gets orgasms every time she talks to Norland, fights on the battlefield, or in general. This woman is just horny and bratty. That's her entire character. Maybe something else happens throughout the series, but we are episode 8 of 12. Think about that. 8 of 12. 4 episodes to go, and this is still her character. You gotta be kidding me here. This is the best you guys can come up with? You know, there's no character in the original anime I can think of who was this on the nose when it came to being horny, aggressive, bratty, none of this crap, okay? You had some of these attributes in different characters, but not in one collective whole. Catherine's existence is further proof of how the creators of this series don't really respect the fans and assume they're a bunch of horn dogs who only care for one element of their series versus others. Yes, I know people do like the characters in this show and the story is somewhat compelling at times, but let's not kid ourselves here. This is the reason why people are watching this show, which is very sad.
Sorry, who even are you?
You know me, it's Arnold Rank.
That's really you, Arnie? Wow, when did you become such a cutie?
So Arnold talking to Catherine here it's so cringe. I'm back to kill the nameless mercenaries. You know, Jeremiah had some class when he came back, and there was more personality in there. It wasn't just, I'm here to kill this guy. Now, true, Jeremiah did want to go back and take out Lelouch, obviously, but the way they handled that was just better. It was funny and interesting, and like Jeremiah kind of went a little nuts too after he became a cyborg. You could tell by his demeanor when he was fighting Lelouch, because prior to his near death in stage 10, he already was kind of losing it a little bit because of the whole orange thing, so there was a lot of build up for that. But here, he has one fight with Ash, he somehow lives. By the way, they still haven't explained this. His nightmare frame blew up and he didn't die somehow. You know, with Jeremiah, he ejected, so we know he didn't die. Are they ever going to explain how Arnold basically was atomized but wasn't atomized? His nightmare frame blew up. Guys, you can't just... I know science is incredible, but you can't just, like, almost Mao him. But even Mao wasn't atomized. I can't believe this. We're episode 8 of this, or I should say episode 2 of this third film, and you still haven't explained to me how Arnold is still alive. You can't just say that he is. The show is so good at this. It's always the same thing over and over again. Damocles came back because we said it did. Neo Britannia has flares because we said it did. Arnold is back because we said he is. You guys have to do a way better job at explaining your story. The fact that this series relies on pan flips to explain half of the shit is ridiculous to me. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that Catherine wants to bang Arnold, who gives a shit? These two characters, I hate both of them. They tried to give Arnold some humanity in the last episode when he was a kid fighting Ash, and they were trying to show that Arnold wanted glory or whatever, or maybe he was manipulated by Norland. But it's not enough, guys. You can't just... If you're trying to show that Jeremiah fall from grace, you need, what's that word, episodes to show this over time. Jeremiah had way more development, and the payoff was way stronger when he came back as a cyborg to fight Lelouch. Technically, twice. But here, it's just, I'm Arnold, I'm back to kill the native mercenaries, I have no personality, I'm just a tool. A literal robotic cyborg husk. Arnold is a perfect metaphor for this entire series. He represents what the creators think the original anime was and why it was successful. Because he's a pale imitation of Jeremiah, just like this entire series is a pale imitation of the original anime. And as I've said many times, and I'm not joking, this series was designed to recapture the magic of the original anime. So they're recapturing it by just creating a pale imitation. Guys, just make something new. Oh my god. All right, let's continue on.
We're sending you two out to ensure they're crushed completely.
I want them exterminated.
Yes, my lord.
If you want them exterminated, why didn't you just have Christophe take the 3 Flayas, go to their base, and blow them up? What is Norland even doing anymore? Does he even exist as a character? He's just there. Kill them. Destroy them. I have no anything. I'm a, what's the word? I am a, not black box, but I'm a mystery box villain. You'll have to wait till episode 10 or 11 to find out my true identity and what I really want in life. So boring. So predictable, so uninteresting. I guess boring, interesting is the same word. Whatever, he deserves both because I'm just so fed up with this crap. You know, Charles wasn't the greatest villain. I'm not even going to deny that. But at least with Charles, we understand his perspective a lot earlier on in the series, relatively speaking, of course, because that show is 25 to 50 episodes, depending if you want to talk about seasons or the show as a whole, versus this where it's 12 episodes. But still, we find out pretty early on how he feels. We get a clear sense of how he feels about Lelouch, and also we get a sense of what he's trying to accomplish in the first episode, which was the Ragnarok connection. Now, don't get me wrong, the Ragnarok connection was not handled well in the original anime, but even then, Charles still had lots of really epic moments. Where is Norland's epic moment? It doesn't exist. But here's the greater point. If the Ragnarok connection was rushed because you guys didn't have enough time to develop it, why didn't you learn from your mistakes and not do that in this series? Why could you spend more time with Norland's plans? Explain in greater detail what he's trying to accomplish. It seems like the same thing is going to happen again. We're going to get everything explained at the last minute and the whole plan's going to unfold in the last minute. You don't have to do that, you know. The story doesn't have to unfold like that, but that's what's inevitably going to happen. And like I said, killing the whole terrorists now or wipe them out, who gives a shit? They're not a real threat and they know this. And the fact that they want to wipe them out now as opposed to before with the Damocles is really stupid. And that's another thing too. He was saying before that, oh, we got good results on Damocles. What was the point of that? To delay time? What a stupid reason. They were supposed to wipe out the terrorists 2 episodes ago, and now they're doing it now? There's just so much stupidness in this. I can't even. We're not even that far into this episode and it's already not making any sense. As you guys know, I've been trying to be gracious with this show. I know I've been very critical on it, but always sticking around because I know something better is coming, and something better is coming. But Jesus, the entire path to that point has been complete shit with some bright spots here and there, and I will be talking about that in episode 7. I want to wait until I watch this one just to confirm some things that I was curious about in the last one. Now let's continue.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some other matters that need of my careful eye. Shall we begin? I hope.
So, I don't understand, and I'll be discussing this throughout this episode. Why is she in a harness like that? Now, what I mean by that, it's almost a two-part question. You got her in the harness, why in general, and then why that harness? It's literally a thong for her butt. I just don't understand. Is Christophe a pervert? Maybe establish that, but he's not. It's done for fan service sake. Even with Colin, and I can't believe I'm defending this, but her scene when she was captured by Britannia, where they put her on that stretcher, even that wasn't as bad as this. You wanna know why? For one, it was literally one scene and they were done with it. And two, it's understandable why they put her on that. The positioning of her arms and body was clearly done for erotic purposes, but her just being on there makes sense because she can jump around and do serious athletic moves. So they gotta keep her body basically immobile. So that makes sense. Colin is very agile. However, again, the positioning of the body was ridiculous. But here, Saka is not that athletic. She's not that powerful. Her hand-to-hand combat skills are probably not that impressive. She's also locked in a chamber. So do you really have to put her in this particular harness? I mean, you have her in a straitjacket. You don't have to go any further than that. You could even have turrets pointing at her if she tries to escape. I just don't understand the logic here besides, hey, it's hot. By the way, it's not. It's egregious and pathetic, but you get my point. Also, another thing about Colin as well is that there was another scene in, I think that same episode where she's in a straitjacket. And again, I'm not going to defend that by saying it was good, but comparably better than this. And also, it only lasts for one scene. This is going to be something that you're going to see throughout the entire episode. And I know that because I saw the trailers for the third film, so I have some spoilers. And there was a video on the third film that showed more scenes like this. The point is, this is sad.
The accommodations were comfortable enough for you.
This is so dumb. That's all I wanted to say. I know I just said it before, but seriously, wow. So we are episode 8 of 12, and this intro hasn't changed much at all. Now, they said on Twitter after the first film came out, this intro was going to dynamically change as the story progressed. Has it done that at all? I think the only thing I noticed was the Z Ortega. I just don't get it. This intro was pure shit. I think even the original anime intro had a better job of integrating new things as they showed you more variations of the same intro. Just compare the first version of Colors to the second one, and you'll see they definitely changed a couple animations and order of images to take into account what's happened in the story. Have they done that with this intro? No. One change, and that's it. If you want to do something like Angel Beats, where the ending changes after each character dies, sorry, spoiler alert. They're not really dead, by the way, but you know what I mean. Then do that. This half-ass attempt is terrible. That's why I hate this intro. It's so heavily dependent on the music, not the visuals, that people just ignore how stupid the visuals are. People who are defending this intro really hurts my soul because the original anime, they actually put effort into it. It wasn't just the fact that it wasn't colorful and modern-y, which is what this one is, which pisses me off, but also the fact that at least the visuals actually changed as we progressed throughout the series. So it looked like, just like the show progressed, the intro did as well. Everything was just nicely put together. This piece of shit doesn't do that. That's why I hate this damn intro. Beyond everything else. The song is what sells it. The song sucked. Nobody would give a fuck about this thing. Okay, just a simple question, but why are they still using those crappy Akatskis? Where are the better Nightmare frames? Why aren't the Black Knights supplying them? Are they involved in our conflict where they can't spare some Nightmare frames? This whole thing is just so stupid, how Neo Britannia has better Nightmare frames than an organization that is being supplied by the Black Knights, who has the combined power of Rakshata and Lloyd. Do these people even give a shit about their own story? The answer is no.
Hey, Ash! Where are you hiding?
Again, cheaply copying the original anime when Jeremiah said, Lelouch, where are you? You know, is that you? I'm sorry, not Lelouch, my bad. Zero. Where is Zero? I want to kill him. It's just, it doesn't work, you piece of shit. Okay.
Ash, have you found Roze yet?
No, he's not responding.
Then go back up Mono Bay.
Do what you can to hold out!
Ash is going to be really surprised when he finds out exactly where Roze is and who Roze has been this entire time. So look forward to that, I guess. At least we'll get to see Ash fight Arnold, which, does anyone really want to see that rematch anyways? I have no idea. The tension for the fight too, like there's almost none. There's no build up towards it. It's nothing like Colin versus Suzaku or Shin Hyuga versus Akito or more comparable Lelouch versus Jeremiah. There's just no build up for any of this. Like Ash didn't even... Whatever, let's move on.
But at Abashiri,
And now
I'm sorry, what did he say? A machinery? A cyborg? I don't know what Ash just said there. I assume it means something like that. He knows he's a cyborg? Shouldn't he ask the obvious question, how the hell are you still alive? But whatever.
I couldn't be happier! You said I used my weapon like a crutch. One whose sole purpose is to defeat you!
So Arnold is basically a cyborg built around his weapon? What? Okay, so basically Ash is fighting a pure robot, which I'm not sure how I feel about that compared to how Jeremiah was. So is Ash not even human? I'm sorry, is Arnold not even human? Is he just purely a robot as opposed to Jeremiah who's a cyborg? Because there's no, what's the word? There's no human elements to this character, which is kind of weird. I'm sure maybe the last film they explained this. But in general, that's just really odd. Also, I don't care how advanced Arnold is. There's no way he defeats Ash in this fight. Ash was a former Knight of 13. He should be one of the strongest Knight of freaking pilots in the series because he can do that. In the original anime, Jeremiah was powerful, but he got taken out all the time by superior pilots. Well, not all the time, but he couldn't stop certain pilots like Suzaku and Gino. I want to say Tristan, Gino. And then even Tink in Oz the Reflection was also a pure cyborg. Actually, I think he was actually a robot. He also couldn't stop other pilots too. So just because you're a robot doesn't mean you're perfect. And then of course in Lost Stories, Carly is also a cyborg and she also has issues with other pilots, specifically the MC. So no, just because you are a robot, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to take out Ash, who is a well-trained member of the Knights of the Round. Well, a former member of the Knights of the Round. So Ash having issues here is not believable.
Running away, are we? You're facing me, so man up.
Hey, here's a thought. Why not use your Megista Zeta, Ash, so you could fight against Arnold on fair terms? But of course, did you forget about that? You had to use it on him the last time you killed him. Why not use it now? Who the hell knows? Here's the fight we've been waiting for. Ass versus tits. Just like the show.
Oh, wow. If you're able to follow through, it looks like we might have some fun.
You'll eat those words.
I don't know. The fight's interesting, I guess, or the prospects of the fight are interesting, I guess, but like before, there's like no build-up for this. They're just kind of fighting because, you know, why not? And I know you might say, well, in the original anime, there were certain fights that had no build-up that we may not have liked, rather. The difference, though, is those were the minor characters, you know, like Nagisa versus Claudio. I mean, who really cared, I guess. But when it came to Zaku and Colin, their fights had a lot of build-up. I mean, even when Colin fought against Jeremiah in stage 10, she already fought him in stage 1, so he already had some past history. These two are fighting for the first time and we're in episode 8 of 12. Just keep that in mind. These two also haven't met each other until episode 8. Again, keep that in mind.
According to General Bartley's documents, this...
Oh my god, are you serious? We literally went that route? I was kidding in the last, was it reaction or video about how episode 7 discussed Christophe having knowledge of Geass, and it turns out it was Bartley's research. God dang it, let the man rest already. Like, rest in peace, rather. His research is helping everyone these days. It helped William Bish and Percy Frankenstein, and now it's helping out Christophe. Man, Bartley, he's like being dragged out of the grave every freaking time we have a Geass shit. You know, Bartley did research on Code R, so I understand why they wanted his data, but he wasn't the only person doing this. The entire Geass Order had plenty of stuff as well. So I guess that's where Christophe got the info from, as he said, from Bartley's research. How they find that, though? The Geass Order was destroyed. It was destroyed. The data that the Templars had, or I'm not sure what they're called, those druids, was also destroyed by C2. So where the hell is the information coming from? Again, like I said in the beginning, this series loves to pull off this shit. Hey, just accept this because we told you. We have information about Geass that was destroyed. I have it. Just accept it. Are you serious? You have to explain where that came from. You can't just throw out names like, I have Bartley's research. Go fuck yourself. Also, this angle of Sakuya, I mean, all you gotta do is just animate a guy behind her, and you guys already know what this is. It's so stupid, okay? You don't have to have her bent like this. Just have her on the floor, on her knees, just like Toto was, or Kuroto. That's how she should look. Remember when Colin and here we go again. You remember when Colin was in the cell in episode, I think it was 14, during the Geass Order of Destruction? She's just sitting normally, and then Nully finds her to talk about stuff. Colin thought they were going to kill her, but they weren't. That's how you handle this. She was just sitting there. You don't have to do this shit. It's ridiculous to me. Saka, like I said, she's in like the perfect position for something else. How can you take any of this seriously when you have crap like this? Oh my god.
Seem to be a wide variety of Geass abilities. Your ability gives you the power to take control and command them to your bidding. It is necessary for it to be heard or seen by the desired target.
Okay, so a lot of stuff to talk about here, which is super irritating. Christophe says that according to Bartley's research, there are different types of Geasses. So my question then is, was Bartley actually working with V2 to experiment on the children? Because the impression I got from the original anime, and maybe I was wrong, but what Bartley was doing with C2 was independent of what V2 was doing. I never got the impression these two were actually working together on anything. And the reason why I say that is because Clovis had C2 under his, protective care, if you will. And if V2 knew that Clovis had C2 under his care as part of the Code R project, then V2 would have gone after C2. So these two weren't really working together, as far as I understood it, because if they were, that blows up the entire original anime, which I hope to God is not the case. But so just putting that aside, I guess, for a moment, or not putting aside, but just keep that in the back of your mind for now. So that part makes no sense. The next part is, did Bartley know about Geass in general? I don't think so. Yes, he didn't even give Jeremiah a Geass Cancellor. He just turned him into a robot. Did Bartley even know about Geass? They were experimenting on C2 had a code, not a Geass power. So how would Bartley even know about that? It's one thing to drag this poor fat man out of his grave. It's another to just make up shit for the sake of the story. Could you at least state you got the data from the Geass Order and you studied the past children they experimented on? Why are you just making shit up for the sake of the story? Again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below, but I'm pretty sure that Bartley didn't have knowledge on Geass. He had knowledge a little bit on code stuff, but very limited. That was kind of the irony of the series, where Clovis spent all this time working with C2, keeping her a secret from Charles, even though Charles knew about her the entire time. That was the irony. But I suppose that's just not the case. Now, Christophe hasn't explained, by the way, how he knows about any of this stuff. I mean, he had the data from Bartley, so that's how he learned everything, supposedly. But the question is, how does he know about Geass from the get-go? Did Norland tell him about it? Did he know about Lelouch? I mean, there's just so many questions that are being raised here that are not being answered. Again, I'm just telling you he does, so go along with it. That's not an answer. Piss off.
According to the individuals we freed from your Geass, it seems you bypass the voice changer when it's time to issue your orders.
You really freed people from my Geass?
So the one thing I will say on a positive level from this interaction here is that at least the story does explain how Christophe figured out how his but her Geass works. So that's a positive. We're using some inductive, or I guess it's deductive logic to figure out how her powers work. So that's interesting. Now, what I don't like, though, to go back a step, is that she's surprised that someone could undo her Geass power. What's weird about this is that she got her power from Lelouch and C2. Again, we don't really know exactly the circumstance behind how that worked because the show barely explained it, which is super frustrating. But is she really surprised that someone could take away an ability if they gave it to her or undo it? I mean, she doesn't even know much about Geass in general, so I find her reaction to be a little bit surprising. I mean, I guess Rolla was surprised too, so maybe it's not too weird. I don't know. I think I'm just being really harsh on the story because of the terrible world building so far. Also, this angle, Jesus Christ.
The technique's been established for a long time. Nothing to brag about, really.
The technique has been established for a long time, nothing to brag about, really? You mean the one time where Jeremiah could do it and they've never replicated it since? Is there any other time where Geass could be cancelled besides Jeremiah? Again, where'd that come from? Was that Bartley's research as well? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't give Jeremiah the Geass Cancellor. I thought V2's people did. Or did Bartley do that under V2's orders? I don't know. There's so many like missing pieces of information I think the show is trying to explain, but it also creates some strange possible inconsistencies with the original anime, so I don't like that at all. But apparently this is something everyone could do for years. I mean, it felt like Jeremiah was a bit of a unique case. I never got the impression that they could replicate with Jeremiah to other people, but apparently they can now. Then why is Geass even a thing at all?
This chamber is soundproof and bulletproof. Can you believe that we had to whip up all of this Anti-Guos equipment just for you? You're certainly what that...
So now we're talking about Anti-Guos equipment, which is very reminiscent of the OSI. In fact, her being in that chamber, rather, reminds me of Alush being in that one during the UFN meeting. Do they have other Anti-Guos equipment? Is Christophe part of the OSI? Is he part of the Geass Order? Guys, you gotta answer these questions. This man has a lot of knowledge. Knowledge he shouldn't have. You better explain this shit. Just saying he got someone's research doesn't really explain anything, because it's not just having some knowledge you read about. Christophe seems intimately aware of these things, and so you have to explain how he knows that information. You're basically giving characters knowledge they shouldn't have without telling us how they got there. This is the core reason why Turn 19 is such a bad episode. Thanks for taking the worst parts of the original anime and inserting it in here.
What exactly do you intend to do with me?
By the way, another point I want to bring out here is the fact that they have all these protections in place. It is a soundproof, bulletproof containment. So why is she in a straitjacket then? Or not a straitjacket, why is she in a harness? She's literally harmless to anybody in that thing. You also have gun turrets pointing at her if she does anything stupid. This is purely done for fan service, you perverted bastards. And also these angles again, they're so stupid. What are you gonna do to me? The best I can.
We'll study you in detail.
Which will allow us to develop our very own Geass.
We'll do all the experiment.
Once that's over, we'll slice the subjects into 0.1 millimeter sized pieces.
But I have a promise to keep.
This is possibly one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. So you're going to experiment on Sakuya and figure out exactly what or how her Geass works in every sense of the word to make your own Geass, and then you're going to kill her by cutting her up into pieces. What? Just no. Geass doesn't... What? Okay, let's try to break down this. I can't even, my brain hurts me here. Geass doesn't work like that, okay? If you had any knowledge of Geass, which this guy claims to have knowledge on, then you would know it gets passed by a code bearer. Maybe there's something you could do with Geass to give it to other people, but the impression I got is it has to come from a code bearer. Now you could argue, what were those kids in the Geass Order? I got the impression that V2 gave them Geass powers. It was not from experiment with the Geass Order. I think the experiments did lead to certain things like the Geass Cancellor, which is kind of like a Geass power, but it's just... I don't know why, but I kind of bought it in the Geass Order. Maybe because V2 was part of it, and also they've been doing research for so many years that I bought this in the original anime, but I don't buy it here. There's like no 7 payoff for it, because in the original anime, they showed us flashbacks of Charles and V2 doing experiments on the kids. This has been going on for a very long time, so it's more believable they could have something like this created, like making their own artificial Geass, which I'm pretty sure they never did. But here, there's almost nothing. You guys like, I found some random research. I'm gonna make my own Geass. Why? Why do you even want to do this? What's the point of making your own Geass power? Like, what do you need that for? And why didn't he ask her where she got the power from to begin with? Don't you think that's the most obvious question here? Of all the things that you're saying and doing, ask her the most obvious question: where did the Geass power come from? Did it come from C2? If you have Bartley's research, then you must know about C2 or Code R. But of course, does Christophe bring that up? No. Again, you drag Bartley's fat ass out of the grave. You don't even use it properly. The man wished he was dead 30 times over after this shit. If you're going to go that far, at least bring up C2 and ask where she got the Geass from. This man is an idiot. I like Christophe, but holy crap, they ruined him like everyone else in this damn show. At least try to make characters seem intelligent. This man has research that he's not fully utilizing. I just can't at this point, okay? I'm really trying here, but I just can't. This man's supposed to be really smart, and now he's acting like an idiot. Also, cutting up Sakuya is just some pointless shit. Are they trying to say he's a psycho? Cliche, boring villain. You took Christophe, who I thought was interesting and thought-provoking at times, and also pragmatic, and now he's just a stupid psycho. Great.
Uncanny resemblance.
It's you, Norland.
Norland's like, oh shit, they want me in this call? Alright, here I am. Hey, you look like that other girl. I can't believe I was fooled. I'm just a dumbass. Yes, Norland, you are a dumbass. You're also boring as fuck too.
You're not going anywhere! Damn it.
I don't think he's running away, in fairness to Arnold. But also, I'm sorry, in fairness to Ash. Also, Ash, Megista Zeta, activated! Why aren't you activating your Nightmare Frame's ability? You can't be this stupid! I can't win! What should I do? Dummy, activate the skill!
Too bad! My nightmare's been modified as well!
Everything's been upgraded.
Come.
So basically, if Ash tries to do his assassination move on Arnold, then he can stop it. You know, this is actually really sad because it makes Arnold seem like Ash seem like a bad pilot, because even Sakuya and Colin had multiple ways to attack enemies and they were able to adapt to any battle they were in. But it looks like Ash is one note. Are you serious? How did a one-note pilot become a Knight of the Realm member? None of the other members of Knight of the Realm were this one note. Bismarck was very diverse in his attack styles. So was Anya and Gino, and of course Zaku, Bradley, and so forth. In fact, Bradley, despite the fact that I hate the bastard, and I absolutely do, he is very creative with his fighting style, especially how he took out those airships in turn 16, or how he fought against Colin in turn 18. He was obviously not going to win, but he tried different tactics to defeat her, or the way that he nearly killed Lelouch. All the Knight of the Realm members are very skilled fighters because they're the best, right? They're the best of the entire world. Ash is a one-note Nightmare Frame pilot, has one basic move. Are you telling me he's just a one-note Nightmare Frame pilot with one ability or one basic skill to kill people? That's ridiculous. And you know, so far, it seems to be the case. We're like... okay. So what if Arnold has one way to stop you? You were a Knight of the Realm member, man. Show us why. Fuck off with this.
Keep me entertained a while longer?
Oh no! Are all these wild swings supposed to be attacks?
Catherine's trying to be this clever, haughty, cocky bitch, but I'm just not buying any of it. It's just dumb. Also, I hate to bring this up, but Haruka is not the ace pilot of anything. She is horrible. And I know that makes sense because she has no training and she's not Colin. But then why did you guys spend almost 3 episodes deciding she was going to be the ace pilot? Why did Roze say, hey, by the way, if you have this Nightmare Frame, you could take out anybody? All of that was bullshit, of course. Her defeating Divok, as I said before, meant nothing. Divok was a throwaway villain just like Ron and Greed and even Arnold in episode 2. So this is kind of depressing. Now granted, I didn't think Haruka could beat Catherine, but this fight is not even close. It's kind of boring. I was hoping there'd be some more back and forth between the two, because Haruka is apparently the ace pilot. That term has been bastardized in this entire series and means absolutely nothing. And of course, Catherine, just why?
Won't last long.
Again, just confirmed what I said earlier. She's not a good pilot. She's about average at best. Everyone in the show is average or mid at best. Also, why is Haruka just attacking her in one way? Like I said with Ash, these pilots are very one-note. Ash even told Haruka to focus on your attack strategy, where you try to kill someone with minimal movement as much as possible. Does Haruka take any of these lessons to heart? No, she does not. She's fighting Catherine using the same terrible tactics. She learned nothing. We don't even see her remembering the lessons that Ash taught her. The show doesn't even follow its own continuity. Haruka is just about as bad as anyone else at this point. I'm still confused why she was made the ace pilot. Roze just read some damn stats are like, on paper this looks good. That's not how you base things. Colin wasn't analyzed on some data pad if she should have the Gurren Mark II. Lelouch saw her actions in real time. Saw not just her ability to destroy other enemies, but how she carried herself in the battlefield, how she dealt with adversity, how she took orders. You guys know how I felt about that. Just more reminders of how stupid that subplot was.
Yes, I know. Munamori, Oda, Haruka needs backup now.
We're only hanging on ourselves.
So they're getting screwed too. Okay. You know what the problem with this episode is? They don't have enough experienced pilots to help them out. Why couldn't they just send a couple of the main ace pilots from the original series on that submarine of contrivance to the Hokkaido block, give them some decent Nightmare Frames to help out? If you had Cornelia here, Gino, Toto, Xiao, wait, not Xiao, I'm sorry, Hungu, this be over in no time. It's just crazy to me. They're losing because they don't have enough skilled pilots. Shiro said in episode, was it 6? We have to support the Hokkaido block. We have to be there for them. If you're there for them, send them more reinforcements. Shiro's like, if we just had Toto, send Toto in now. Have Toto work with Kuroto. How fucking cool that would have been. But no, we don't get that. Instead, we have to rely on the B team, the freaking B team or Z-list pilots to deal with an elite army, which is such bullshit. You have a submarine. Send pilots in there with more nightmare frames. Better ones. I think Cornelia in the first Gloucester could probably kill most of the pilots here. You might say, well, the Camdens are pretty powerful. Cornelia knows what she's doing. I think she'd be fine. Or give her a version of the Quinn Rose Model Z that can't fly, and this whole thing is over with. That's what I hate about this series. It's basically, if this pilot existed and was present, well, they exist, but they are present in this battle, it's over. That's why the whole series falls apart. That's why showing the submarine of contrivance ruined the entire series. Because you could send anyone and the whole thing would be resolved. But of course, that's not going to happen because the show has to have tension, which shouldn't exist.
No wonder you were so easily fooled by your fake brother.
Fake brother?
Don't tell me you forgot! Your brother was executed by Lord Norland!
So this is supposed to be a follow-up on episode 2 when Ash said he's doing this for his brother and Arnold's like, you know Nickel's dead, right? Don't you remember? Now, there's a couple things about this we have to discuss. So did Christophe tell him about Ash's brother being dead or the Geass power? I guess so, because again, the Geass Cancellor. That could have been a nice part in the story to show us, of course, but we have to assume this happened off screen. Like half of this shit. So there's that. Also, in episode 2, when Ash tells Arnold that he's doing this for his brother, that doesn't inherently mean that he forgot rather that his brother died. It just means it's his source of motivation, which it was, by the way, because he was going to kill Norland as a result of his brother's death. And Ash during this episode could have been motivated by the desire to avenge his brother. So he could still be doing this for his younger brother without rejecting the fact that he's dead. So for Arnold to immediately assume it has to be because he's under Geass, there's no connection towards that. They're just telling you that because we know that's true, but we don't know why they know that's true. That's the big problem here. There's these 2 points and they're not connected. This is why I said like a couple seconds ago that they have to explain how we got here. You have to do a lot of work for this narrative for it to work, and that's bullshit. They should have had a scene where you have Christophe talking to Arnold saying, by the way, I think Ash's under Roze's Geass or something. And just explain that shit, because apparently I think Christophe's going to tell Saka this later on in the episode. I believe so. Again, how does he know that? How does Arnold know that? Who the hell knows? You have to figure this out for yourself.
You will help me obtain the power of Geass.
Oh my god. This could be a porno, honestly. You will help me obtain what I want. I'll never do that. Well, we have other ways to get you to cooperate. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. But going back to the other thing, it looks like the Geass is now activating. By the way, there's an issue with her Geass command, which I noticed in episode 7, and this episode is further proving my point to be correct, that it makes no damn sense, so I can now proceed further with that episode, or with that video rather. But this is crazy. It shows her ass, and it has Norland saying, you will tell us about Geass, or else. Okay.
Can it be done?
Why? What do you need Geass for?
I am the one asking the question.
So here's another thing I don't understand. If they have Bartley's research, I know I said this earlier, but I have to emphasize it one more time. If they have Bartley's research, they know that Geass comes from code bearers. Why don't they ask her about that? Can you tell us about Geass? Help us create it. Honey, I got my thing from a stranger in a gypsy outfit. I can't tell you anything. Did I say honey? I meant sir. Sorry, sir. I got my Geass from some stranger in a gypsy outfit. I have no idea. But you know who might know something? Maybe those people. Why doesn't Norland say, hey, who gave you those powers? We're trying to find them, aka Lelouch and C2. Wouldn't that have been a better plot if Norland was trying to find Lelouch and C2 because he wanted the Geass power or the fragments they were collecting? That is what the story should have been about. Sakuya has no clue about any of this. She's literally just a random person who got a Geass ability. Norland's such a stupid fuck. I can't stand it. He should be asking her, where did you get the Geass power from? Was it some random dude in a gypsy outfit? Did he look like you? Was it your uncle? Was it some girl with green hair and yellow eyes? It's like the original anime didn't even happen. What is this crap? You should want to connect the past to the present. Also, there was a meteor shower. Did you guys miss the meteor shower in Resurrection? It covered the entire world. Maybe that's where you want to look to find Geass, you know? Wouldn't it be really cool if Norland was collecting the Geass fragments or wanted to find them and he had a conflict with Lelouch because he was collecting the Geass fragments? You know, if you want to have Geass power, you should be going for the fragments. Everyone saw that meteor shower. That was the whole point of that shit. You just made that pointless too. So we have so many problems here. Oh my god. What is this crappy plot? Please help me.
Is that possible? Answer me, Sakuya Sumeragi. Very well. Do with her as you wish. We are...
Do with her as you wish. Yep, here comes the 4 men to gangbang her. I mean... Also, for someone who wanted to get, like, the Geass information from her, he gave up pretty easily. He's like, will you help us? Alright, then do what you want with her.
Are done here.
Understood.
Bring the prisoners in.
I imagine they're being used as Sir Christophe's lab rat at this very moment.
Nico was murdered.
So Ash doesn't even care that Roze was captured, okay? Also, again, no Megisa's Zeta has been activated at this time. What the fuck?
It's Norland did it.
I will admit this is a very good part because it's showing that Ash is struggling with his memories as a result of the Geass ability, which is what happened to Shirley. So that's pretty consistent with the past lore, so I respect that. Also, it explains why he lost his cool and just fell off the bridge and why he couldn't pilot a Nightmare Frame anymore. That also makes sense. Although again, he should be using a Megisa's Zeta and this fight should have been over from the get-go. But at least there's someone explaining why Ash loses. It's due to the Geass just kind of going crazy on him. Still don't know how Arnold knows any of this, but whatever.
You're a disgrace!
How is he a disgrace? Look at you! You're a cyborg, an abomination, a terrible husk. Don't call this man a disgrace. You know how Geass works, or I thought you did, so maybe you would know that it messed him up. Ugh, Arnold, you piece of shit.
You don't get to die so easily. Not before I remove the Geass that was placed on you.
And there you have it, Jeremiah 2.0. Look at that crap. Now it's purple as opposed to blue. Who gives a shit? And then like, looks like some kind of green maze or something in his eyes. Alright, here we go. Removing the Geass from Ash, so now he knows everything.
Alright, young lady. Go ahead and use your Geass on these subjects.
Here comes the med to grape her. I'm just kidding, but it's just this show.
Go on. Do it.
Okay, so they have like these neck collars of some kind. Why isn't Sakuya wearing one? Just in case, right? Whatever, don't ask questions.
Relive the agony of seeing the moment your brother was killed like a dog.
So it is blue. Okay.
Yes, that!
You know what's funny? Arnold wasn't even present during his brother's death. So how does he even know what or how Ash responded at all? It's so dumb because Ash actually nearly killed Norland. Or not killed him, but he was going to kill Norland. He was very angry. He wasn't quivering in fear at all. So Arnold is a dumbass on several levels.
Now, drown in that utter despair as you die. Ash, you good? Damn it.
He sounds like, hey Ash, are you good? I see you collapse on the floor and you clearly are mentally not there. But hey, are you okay, buddy? Oh my god. What is even happening right now? Also, never mind. I don't want to go any further with that rant. Let's move on here.
She keeps darting in and out of range.
Yeah, Haruka, it's called fighting. She doesn't want you to hit her. So of course she's going in and out of range. That's how that works. Did you learn anything from Ash? I thought you were an experienced Nightmare Frame pilot, or, you know, the ace pilot. But no, you're not. Also, I wish you would say something like, man, she's not as easy as Divok or something. You know, try to connect past events to the current one to demonstrate how good Catherine is compared to Divok. But of course, none of that happens here. And why is Haruka not even like changing her tactics? She's still trying to swing the damn thing at Catherine. Maybe break up the spirit to different swords or try different weapons. No, it's the same tactics over and over again. Everyone in the show is just one note. It's really frustrating.
Oh no, what's the matter? Are you really done already?
Oh my god, that cringe dancing. Piss off, Catherine. I guess you're supposed to be a ballerina, but Jesus Christ.
I know I'm faster than her.
So she punches? Why not turn into a, what's the word? A cone. Remember how in turn 16, Zaku broke into the airship by using the same system, the Blaze Luminous, but it was a cone so he could break through and stab? Why would you make it a blunt force? Make it an actual sharp object? She could have poked through Catherine's Nightmare Frame and the battle would have been over already. Why did they give her enhanced knuckles? They should have been knives or blades. That didn't do anything. You barely damaged her. If you stabbed her Nightmare Frame, it'd be over already. But whatever.
What the hell was that? Looks like things got a little interesting.
Yep, boobs versus ass.
Well, in that case...
Is this supposed to be some kind of joke?
Haruka, you unironically described this entire series. Is this supposed to be a joke? Yes, it's a joke. And you're the punchline. Unbelievable. Now, in any other context, for Catherine to be like, okay, let's go mano a mano with no weapons, that'd be pretty epic. But here, it's just comically stupid, especially with the boobs jiggling up and down. It's just so dumb.
We came over here as soon as we heard the Eastern Dawn Brigade. Just one after another.
Oh, they came to help out. I thought they were already working together like they were in one central location. I guess they are, but I don't know, I'm kind of confused. Okay.
These ants. Whoa! You wouldn't...
Okay, let me get this straight. They can take out the Camdens? I thought the Camdens were stronger than the Akatsuki's. Now they can for plot convenience? So which is it, guys? Are the Akatsuki's able to take out the Camdens, or can they not take out the Camdens? Make up your damn minds. Now, in my opinion, they should be able to take out their Nightmare Frames because they should have not superior, but like they don't have any special barriers or anything. No shields. I know they have Schrodinger armor or something, but even then, I think it's Schrodinger steel armor. But even then, if you have rocket launch, you could take them out. The point is, be consistent with your story. Can the Akatsuki's take them out? Yes or no?
You'll write to us if you didn't drop by and repay the favor. Iwamoto.
What favor? Wait, you're telling me that alliance ended after Damocles ended? I thought this was gonna be an ongoing thing. I guess not.
You're a real lifesaver.
The heck is this?
It's from an anonymous sender.
You know, this is a very important part of the episode, but Yoko looking serious with that outfit, just so comically stupid. But yeah, you got mail. Here's an anonymous message from somebody.
Sir Scissorman has a new prisoner. The younger, nameless mercenary brother. It appears the only recipients for this message were the Seven Shining Stars.
Why would you send them a message like this? Don't you want to learn about Geass? What's the point of this? I'm so confused. I assume this came from the inside, right? It wasn't anyone else who knew about it. Why would you tell them where she is if you need her to learn about Geass?
The Apollo has withdrawn from the front lines.
What?
By the way, it looks like Arnold's Nightmare Frame has some kind of Blaze Luminous shield that protects the back, which then makes you wonder how that's working effectively when the Satumpe wall's in there, because it also affects like the energy capabilities of Nightmare Frames, but who gives a shit about that? That doesn't matter anyway. That's a plot contrivance that we ignored ages ago.
Where are you running?
So, why are you running? I mean, because you tried to kill him, but also because he knows the truth. He knows what Roze or Sakuya did to him. So, like, doesn't it make sense? Like, whatever.
Let's see if we can lure the terrorist into action with this. So much of this Geass nonsense.
So Stanley did everything? Stanley, you piece of shit. Also, his first line in the entire story, I'm sorry, his second line in the entire anime, because he was talking to Norland in episode 3. He decided to lure them, but why? He's working with Norland. What is going on? Also, Geass nonsense? You know what? I respect that. Stanley is a weird fuck, but I respect his decisions here, even though they don't make any sense, and they contradict Norland's goals.
I refuse to allow the occult to get in my way.
So, Stanley hates Christophe's Geass bullshit order cult, and he wants to get rid of them for his stupid Roombas. I know that the Einberg don't exactly get along, but if they had these type of past trifles or issues, alright, I guess we have to go with it. They don't like each other. I didn't get that impression once from watching any of their interactions, how little they were, by the way. Again, if you're trying to show that characters have a certain relationship with each other, then maybe show that on screen, because I never got the impression that these characters had that kind of animosity towards each other, but apparently they do. Okay. Man, that was fast, huh? We were from daylight to sundown. How many hours just passed? Like not 50, but like 6 hours? Jesus.
I don't understand. What happened to Nico?
He's dead. That's what happened.
How could I have forgotten about that?
Geass. Arnold told you.
Sakuya Sumeragi, what the hell did you do to me?
Geass, again. Oh, thank God, we're halfway through this show, or episode.
Please just let us go! We didn't do anything wrong! Thank you!
Man, these people are insane. What was Christophe doing with them prior? I don't even want to know. Please, girl with purple hair, big boobs, and a nice ass. Save us! Save us!
Hurry up and do it.
If I do as I'm told, I'll end up getting these people killed.
Or if you don't use it, they'll die either way. Christophe literally told you, I don't know how long ago it was, that I'm going to cut your body up when we're done experimenting with you. So Sakuya, you're all going to die anyways. He made this very clear. You do what he says, they die. You don't do what he says, they also die. Oh my God.
I've got to think of a way around all of this.
There is no way. You're trapped because you're an idiot.
I suppose I'm left with no choice.
Okay, so this confirms my earlier suspicion. If these things can insta-kill anybody if they're on their neck, then just put one on Sakuya and not put her in the harness. You see how stupid this is? The story literally created a way to control a prisoner without a harness, and they don't use it on Sakuya if she tried to escape or something. This is why this whole thing is dumb. The harness is completely contrived for the ass shots and the boob shots. These people are so pathetic, it's unbelievable to me. So pathetic. Not because you're doing fan service, which can be done well, let's look at the original anime to some extent, but why you're doing it. It's just because it's compensation for a shitty plot. This is Janissary Code all over again.
Well, this didn't work. I suppose I ought to bring in someone more important to you, for
Someone more important to her? Well, like Sakura?
Would they still be alive if it wasn't for me?
No, Sakuya, you know that's not true.
What's all the racket?
We're under attack.
Yeah, Christophe's confused because, again, Stanley sold him out. I wonder how that means to go on next episode. Did you sell me out, Stanley? I don't know what you're talking about. I was busy working on the Roombas.
Nightmare frame has infiltrated the facility.
Whatever's going on, make
I mean, if it's one Nightmare frame, it's probably Ash, and they're not gonna do anything. You know this, you trained them, stop being stupid.
sure you keep it away from us.
Yes, my road. So stupid.
Young Arnold and young Catherine. What failures they are.
They're not failures because they can't take out anyone. They're failures because they're written horribly, and they're one-note characters designed to recapture elements of the original anime without understanding why those work to begin with. That's why they're failures. Again, the show, unironically, is commenting on itself. It's great.
Morobe Squad, Eastern Dawn Brigade, be aware of incoming attacks from the enemy leader's nightmare. Oda and Munamori Squad, head to Point Alpha.
I respect Kuroto here giving out orders, which is pretty good. He's a pretty good leader, given he has nothing to work with, which is so unnecessary because, like I said before, just send him some reinforcements. Better pilots, better nightmare frames. You want this guy to fight off Neo Britannia, but you give him absolutely nothing to work with. This man is doing the best he can with absolutely nothing. It's depressing as fuck.
And North Wolf Army, start moving to Point Bravo. We can't hold out forever.
Correction, you can't hold out at all.
I can't patch all this damage fast enough! Everybody, do the best you can!
You can't patch all the damage fast enough? Well, yeah, they don't have much of a team. Also, I assume that Yuno wasn't the only one working on this. And again, we see more inconsistency. At some points, the Akatsuki can take out Camdens, and at some points, they cannot. Guys, which is it? Are they ineffective or are they effective?
Is there anything you can think of for me to do?
Yes, Sakai, get us more reinforcements. You're supposed to be the the liaison for the Black Knight. You should have got us more reinforcements and better pilots. That's your job, Sakai. That's what you should be doing.
I'm good over here, but I think that Sano could use a hand.
Right. The Geass was taking a beating. This doesn't look good.
Yeah, you don't say, Yoko. The smartest thing she said all series. This does not look good. Again, unironically discussing the show in general. Yes, Haruka's having a problem against Catherine. She was surprised. So-called ace pilot sucking, as always.
Hang in a little longer.
Wait, hang in a little longer? They just said we can't hold out. Okay, here's the problem with this entire fight. They're acting like something's supposed to happen to save everybody, right? But nothing's going to happen. There's no one coming. There's no reinforcements. What are you waiting on? I think I try to rescue Roze and get her or get him back in the battlefield. Well, they think it's a him, of course. I know it's not, and you know it's not. No, that's not going to happen. No one's coming to save them. There's like this tension in the battlefield where it's like, if we hold out just a little longer, something's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. You're all dead. Okay? This is an extermination mission. This entire thing that he's saying doesn't make any sense. A few seconds ago, he was saying, we're all screwed. Then he goes, Haruka, just last a little longer. And then what? What's supposed to happen? If you're trying to create this tension from Narita, you're doing a terrible job because in Narita, Todo was on his way. So Katase kept saying like, okay, just hold them off a little longer. Todo's almost here. Lelouch was having problems with Cornelia. Todo was almost here. That's the difference between that battle and this one. In the Narita battle, it wasn't going well until Todo's reinforcements showed up at the last minute to help them out. And when I say not going well, I mean like towards the middle part of stage 11, that part of the battle. But here, there's no Todo. There's no reinforcements. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna save them. That's what's so frustrating about this. Are they waiting for reinforcements? Are the Black Knights coming? No. So the writing here doesn't make any sense.
This is so boring. I feel like I could take a nap right now.
Catherine, piss off. Your annoying, bratty, arrogant cockiness is not fun or interesting. It's just annoying. Anya was better at this than you are.
Okay, I'm over this.
I told you. You're gonna eat those words!
Haruka, you're an idiot. Just admit you've lost. And of course, you learned nothing from what Ash told you. Yeah, I noticed that Ash takes out all the enemy Nightmare frames in the exact same way. He literally is a one-note pilot.
Jugo, what in the world is your daughter? The enemy knight.
I mean, she's a Geass power. Again, you know this already.
It's Ash.
Yep, and he knows everything, so you're screwed.
Well, it's been quite a while since I've seen you, Ash, my boy.
We got the Master versus the Apprentice. This is actually a good fight, and one thing I'll say, I'll give the show credit for this. There is tension and setup for this fight because Christophe trained Ash many, many years ago. Ash became the Knight of 13. Then he left because of his imprisonment and the prison escape, or the prisoner escape. So seeing these two fight again after all that time is pretty cool. I'll give the show credit. This is a fight I actually wanted to see because we have setup for it. What a concept. Setting up something in the past so when it happens in present, we give a shit. I know, it's mind-blowing stuff, but I'll give them credit. This is pretty cool.
To think you were being brainwashed by the young lady all this time. What a twist. Move.
Again, Christophe knows about this. How? I have no idea.
Don't be like that.
They're playing the same music that they played when Ash fought against, I think it was Gran in episode 1, which is a nice little callback.
It must be so refreshing to be free of that Geass, posing as your brother right by your side, like she didn't have a care in the world.
You know, I think of all the angles, this is probably the second worst one of her. Like, do you have to show her in this way being upset? Just focus on the face. why do you have to keep doing this? It's so pervasive. It's so frustrating. It's so perverted. It doesn't add anything to the scene. It just distracts you from the important part. Christophe is having a really important conversation with Ash. He's discussing serious topics. Up, ass and titties. Are you serious? Can we not do this every single time? This is one of the biggest revelations in the story, and you're ruining it for this crap.
Does she even know the way he was killed? She would have sucked what she wanted from you before tossing you aside like a husk.
You know what's funny? He just said that she would turn you like a husk and throw you aside before she was finished or something. Isn't that what they're doing to the original anime? There are so many times where they unironically discuss how they're treating the series. Christophe, you based as hell mother chucker, because you're absolutely right, because that's how they're treating the original series. They're just using it and they'll throw away like a husk when they're done. Unbelievable.
No guarantee she won't kill you if given the chance.
That was cool. I like the way he flicked the blade, because it's reminiscent of the fact that when they fought in hand-to-hand combat, he did the same thing with the swords or the knives. That's pretty cool. Nice little detail there.
I'm getting too old for this.
I'm getting too old for this. Gee, I've never heard that one before.
I guess that's a wrap for you. I did have fun.
Guys, these two scenes, or these two shots back to back, again, boobs versus butt. That's this whole series. You just saw it right there.
Haruka, you okay?
And guess who else is here?
I can't believe.
Yeah, it's Tamaki. Yay.
Boys?
You know, ambushing me was super rude.
I don't know. There's nothing about this character that's endearing or interesting. She's just very typical. Very, very typical and boring. Ironic because she called Haruka boring, which is also a very fair statement. It's a classic case of the, was it the kettle coin, the pot black?
Wait, what the hell was all that?
Agreed. What the hell was that? Alright, this is comically stupid for several reasons. One, how many troops does Neo Britannia actually have? This is what I don't understand. They are a sub-faction of a sub-faction, right? Because Britannia broke up into multiple nations. They're one of those nations that broke up. They're one of those sub-nations. How do they have this many troops? There's like 100 soldiers over there. Where do these people come from? And why do the Seven Shining Stars have almost no resistant fighters? Where are the Black Knights? Why don't they send their own troops to support this faction? It's, I guess faction, resistance groups, whatever. Why don't the Black Knights send their own forces to support this resistance group? That's what's so confusing about all of this. They're outnumbered when they should be. I never got the impression at any time in this series, or from reading the pamphlets, that Neo Britannia had a massive army. I got the impression they took control because of the Damocles and the Satumpe Wall, not because they had superior numbers. But now it seems like they also had superior numbers. Where is this coming from? In the original anime, this made sense because Britannia controlled 1/3 the world, so of course their military was large and expansive. Neo Britannia controls the Hokkaido block, a population of 5 million, which is mostly Japanese people and some Britannians who moved in from the first occupation. Their military is insanely big for no reason. It's like Cerberus from Mass Effect 3, or Mass Effect in general. But in Mass Effect 3, their military was able to fight like every single race in the galaxy, even though before that they were a small splinter group. And before that, they were like 100 members or something, or 200. Now all of a sudden they have a massive army. It makes no sense. And it's the same thing here. Now, from the scene itself, why are these morons why would they just run into the ambush? It's so weird. Did all of, their forces just, I don't understand. Didn't Kuroto tell them to move into one specific area? They're all getting ambushed. Is Kuroto now an idiot and a incompetent fool? I'm just bewildered by all the stupidity here. If Arnold wanted to kill Ash, why didn't he pursue him instead of staying here to fight against a bunch of Akatskis?
Miura squad, Tanaka squad, all units annihilated.
Yep, they're all dead. Good job, guys.
Neo Britannia reinforcements in Block 6, approaching fast. At this rate...
Yep, it's all over. Episode 8 of 12, and the 7 Shining Stars are all dead. What's going on here? Where are the explosions coming from? Was there some Toto reinforcements we're not aware of? I doubt it.
This is bad.
Yes, Kuroto. Brilliant.
Iwamoto.
Yep, facing immediate doom. Because for some reason, even though the Black Knights want to help out the 7 Shining Stars, they didn't do it in the most obvious way with manpower and nightmare frames. Whoa, what the hell? They have bombs that can... Where the hell was this before? Oh, wait a minute. Were these the same bombs they used on the Damocles? You know what? Thank you, show. More plot holes. If you have bombs that can wipe out that many nightmare frames and cause that kind of destruction, which we saw in the Damocles as well, why haven't you destroyed the Satumpe wall? Just go to those towers, place the bombs, and set them off. You have a flying nightmare frame in the Z Ortega or the Z Artemis. Have it fly to all the towers, plant the bombs, they blow up, Suzaku comes in there with the Lancelot Sin, GG no re, right? I mean, what is this crap? You can't keep introducing ways to end the story without realizing it ruins your story. The entire premise of this anime hinges on the fact that this Satumpe wall is preventing the Black Knights from retaking the area. And you've shown several ways you could take it out. You can't keep doing this and getting away with it. They can't keep getting away with this. Oh my god, okay.
It's best if you run along now.
You know what's funny? I don't even feel bad for Iyamoto's death. I hate this character, so if he's dead like Tomi, excellent. Okay, something else we gotta discuss. They are killing themselves, right? With the bombs and destroying all these Neo-Britannian forces. Why are they shooting at them? Are these guys morons? You know, I get it. The first time the bomb goes off, hey, you know, you were fooled, right? But this shouldn't keep working. They should realize that, hey, we probably shouldn't pursue, or engage rather. We should engage these nightmare frames. You wanna know why Akito got away with it? Is because the Alexanders went after certain groups and actually latched on to a nightmare frame and self-destructed. That's why it worked. Plus, the Alexanders were faster than the Sarlans, so they could get to them quicker and blow up. But here, Camdens have better specs than the Akatsuki's, which has been established in this story, even though they've contradicted that several times. But yes, they should have better specs. So if you see a guy with a bomb coming at you, you go the other way. You don't pursue them or engage them. How stupid are these forces? Is Arnold just sitting there like deadpan, like, we should just keep shooting them because that makes sense. It's just... The stupidity on display here is just insane to me. That's the only one that I actually buy because he jumped off the roof and they had no time to respond. But when they're literally running at the Camdens, they should be getting the hell out of there. And of course, there's no signals or messages from the different Neo-Britannian forces saying, hey, by the way, they're all carrying bombs. Everyone, don't pursue, don't engage, you know? Kill them from a distance or something. I'm trying to take this seriously, but I just can't.
Make sure to brace yourselves for this.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that sequence. There was like 50 of them packed in one area. What is wrong with you guys? Get out of range. Oh. They have missiles. Missiles can be fired from long ranges. Obviously, you don't have to attack them with the machine guns. Why is everyone in the show so stupid? I cannot tolerate this crap. It's like the 4 of them were like trying to escape from Iwamoto, but there's 100 of them just standing there. I can't. This is just ridiculous. A bomb with an explosion radius of this size could have been used to destroy the Satumpe wall or even the base of Neo-Britannia. If you were going to sacrifice your lives anyways, why not blow up the mansion that Norland lives in? Why not blow up the capital? I mean, what a freaking waste of resources, both people and equipment. It's like a mini nuke just went off and destroyed like the whole city. This is so dumb.
Eastern Dawn Brigade. All signals lost.
This is supposed to be some kind of dark scene because of the suicides, but it's just comically dumb. Akito again did this so much better. So much better. But everyone says that's worse than us, right? Everyone says Akito is worse than Roze. Get the hell out of here.
Monterey Squad, Tsutsuya Squad, Kosaka Squad. Begin making your retreat via Point Charlie.
And also, we're gonna tell Saka to send some goddamn reinforcements.
Haruka, Oda, Munemori. Fall back to Point Alpha.
Again, it's supposed to be kind of shocking. It's not. It's just dumb.
Too bad. They kind of spoiled everything, didn't they?
Catherine, I hope I never see you on screen again, but something tells me that's not the case. Or that's not going to be the case.
I'm done here. Though it was fun while it lasted.
They gave their lives to ensure that we would survive to help others.
How are you going to help others? You can't fight off Neo Britannia. This fight literally proved that this resistance group can't do anything against them. If Neo Britannia sends more of their troops in here, they are screwed. So no, you are not going to help anybody because you don't have the manpower, you don't have the equipment, you don't have anything. If Saka was even remotely useful, she'd be getting you guys better equipment and more manpower. So no, you're not going to save anybody. This literally proved you guys are incapable of handling anything. Haruka couldn't defeat Catherine. You fight her again as the same outcome. So no, nothing's going to change. All this proves is that they actually had a means to end the conflict years ago and didn't take it, and also this group is not capable of fighting Neo Britannia.
That we live up to their faith in us.
Wonderful, Ash, my boy. You really have improved quite a bit.
I mean, yeah, he became the Knight of 13. Damn, what a takedown. See what happened here? This is what Arnold should have done. After Ash was about to kill him, he should have ejected and ran away. And then when the iframe blew up, Ash thinks he's dead.
Damn it!
Mercifully, they finally lowered her down. By the way, you see the way her knees are on the floor? That's how she should have been positioned from the beginning of the episode. The harness served absolutely no purpose, other than fan service. These people can piss off.
You were freed from my Geass.
Yes, Sakuya.
Yeah.
I used an unnatural power. I pretended to be your brother to manipulate you.
Yep, it was pretty messed up, but in fairness, actually, I'm sorry, no fairness, because she didn't know anything about him. What's also really weird is that she pretended to be his younger brother, even though she didn't know he had one. It's almost like the story went backwards. Like, they knew he had a younger brother, Saka didn't know about that, but the plot still kind of worked its way out to have that be the case, which is not how it should have been written, which I'll talk about at some point in a future video, but that's the crux of it.
And I kept doing it and never considered your feelings for Nico.
This is so stupid. She found out about Nico in the last episode. Until that point, and by the way, it's been almost a year, right? Over a year since this group had started, the Nameless Mercenaries. She had no idea what happened to Nico. It's making it seem like Nico's death was known to Sakuya like months and months ago. She found out about this yesterday. She's acting like she had known about this for a while now. She hadn't. So in defense of Sakuya, it's not as bad as she's saying it is because she didn't know about Nico. You can't just retroactively throw this crap in here. That's not how the order of events work. Now, I would agree that's how it should have been. She should have learned about Nico first, then use Geass on Ash, and then this scene has more weight to it. But she only learned about all this stuff yesterday, so you can't throw that crap in here. It doesn't have the same weight.
I'm truly sorry for what I've done.
Billy, she regrets what she has done and considers the fact that she has ruined so many lives with her Geass power. So I'll give her credit for that, but the rest of it is pure stupidity.
I won't carry on this charade as Roze any longer.
Yep, we knew that was a thing.
After I recapture Sakura from Norland, I'll let you do whatever you wish with me.
Damn, so does she mean that? I'm just kidding. She means he can kill her, obviously.
If you want, you can shoot me with that gun holstered at your waist.
Will Ash kill her? Probably not. By the way, how does Ash at this point not realize that she looks like Raspberry? I mean, how dumb can you be at this point? I want to discuss it later on, but it's just weird that Ash didn't recognize Sakuya when she was Raspberry, and even now, he still can't recognize her with the Geass deactivated. Another thing I can't stand about this scene is that Ash wants to protect Sakuya because of his vow to Jugo. Sakuya doesn't bring this up, and neither does Ash, at least so far.
I'm aware that this will be a selfish request. Would you please keep helping me until we save Sakura?
Her hair is really long. I didn't realize how long it was. Damn. Is it really realistic that could fit inside the Roze wig? This is insane. Like, I kind of bought it with C2 and the Zero helmet, but even that was kind of dumb. But the wig's another thing. I mean, her hair is too long. It doesn't make any sense. How has she been keeping that forest in that wig? It's so dumb. Also, trying to beg Ash to help her save Sakura. That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out. He's thinking about it. I understand. He's still thinking about it. Up, here we go. Here comes the gun. Ooh, tense music. Will he shoot her? Will he not? Who knows? Find out in the next exciting episode of Roze on Recapture. Oh, I was only kidding, but I guess that's the case. There you guys have it. That's Roze Recapture Episode 8. What a shitstorm. One of the worst episodes in the entire series. And that's saying something because 4 was awful, 2 was awful, and 6 wasn't that great either. I mean, it was better, but still had some issues. But 8, holy shit, this episode was awful. I guess the even numbers are pretty bad. If you got this far in the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.